Where is the world going to be in 3 months, 6 months? That question is no longer just about markets or politics. It's about everything. Because right now, we're standing on the edge of a technological shift that's going to change every job. There's no doubt about it.
Already, they're seeing that graduate jobs are disappearing. If kids don't have those skills, they're not going to be employable. It's a petrifying thing, because if we don't do it, we're setting our kids up to fail. The processing speed of AI, our human brain could never compete with.
For sure.
The biggest barrier to it is us, because we hold it back. It absolutely is going to change every job.
But it's not all doom and gloom.
It's going to make your life so much easier. It's cutting efficiencies, it's cutting time from months to days. It's allowing you to have a much wider output. I think for all creatives, it's great. The biggest thing is don't be afraid of it. Play with them, use your imagination.
Today on the Brig Podcast, I'm joined by Tamsin Weinstein, a former marketing director turned AI strategist with leadership roles in universities and cutting-edge projects across Europe and the Caribbean. She's done a year at MIT, works daily in AI education and implementation, and is on a mission to make sure we're all ready for what's coming. This is a conversation about the future of work, creativity, and how we make sure we're not left behind. Tamsin, thank you for joining us on the Brig Podcast. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
No worries. I don't want to kind of like put you on the spot, but you are the first ever person to sit in the chair. So you're in the hot seat. Hopefully, we're hitting the bar high to start off with.
Exactly. Right? I am honored. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So for those who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about your background, sort of before what we're about to get into, which is obviously sort of the AI scene?
Yeah.
Who is Tamsin before that all started?
Okay, yeah. So I am, my background was actually as a marketing director, first of all. So I had 15 years as a marketing director in Europe and latterly here in Cayman. And about 10 years ago, I moved into senior leadership in universities, which got me involved in research and data and all that kind of good stuff. And then a couple of years ago, AI obviously exploded, or Gen AI, and my background was a natural fit for kind of moving forward in it, because I've always worked in data-driven environments. I like to play with things, I'm inquisitive, I'm curious, and I suppose that's where that journey started. So I've gone from being marketing and education to really now leading the field, hopefully in AI.
When that sort of AI revolution started to happen, which, like you said, was a few years ago. I know it kind of started a long time ago, if you really look back at it, right? But in terms of like the global population understanding what AI is and it becoming a real thing, what were your thoughts at the time before you knew that, this is where I'm going to now put all of my efforts into? Like, what was your like first impressions of, okay, this is now hitting the scene?
So I think if you're somebody who's naturally inquisitive and wants to do things differently, then AI is perfect for you. So as you say, it actually started in the 1950s. The term was coined in the 1950s. And it's been around for a long time, and it's data-driven, it's maths, it's statistics, it's predictive modeling. People think it's, rocket science, and it's really not. It's about spotting patterns in data. But COVID really changed the world, and it accelerated AI. It accelerated the way that we are going to use machines. We were more adaptive at using them. We were more eager to use them, and everything kind of took off from there. And when Gen AI first exploded, probably 2 or 3 years ago now, at the end of 2022, it changed the world, because it wasn't just siloed to people in the know, to machine learning specialists. Gen AI opened up AI to everybody, the whole world, and that's when it really took off. So I think if you are somebody that's naturally inquisitive, you will automatically fall into it and you can make it your own. And it's an amazing space for anyone to be. The most important thing is you don't have to have a tech background. I don't have a tech background. You need to have an understanding of data, and you have to have an understanding of how you can use AI to change your world. And if you've got that, then it's for everybody.
That's it. Podcast over. What more do you need to know? Was there like a pivotal moment for you in your career, like something that happened or a project maybe you worked on that really like led the way for you to move into the AI space?
Definitely. So me personally, like a lot of people, start off by using it at home. So I just stumbled across ChatGPT one day and I started using it for personal benefit. So, writing letters and writing emails and seeing what cool things it could do. And I got absolutely intrigued with it. I'm the kind of person who needs to know how something works. So I don't just want to see the outcome. I want to know why I've got that outcome.
Yeah.
So I invested and I sold a kidney. I didn't really, but I probably should have done. And I went and did a course at MIT, which is one of the leading AI centers in the world. And I did a year's course at MIT. Part-time, I was still working. And that really opened up my world because there were so many experts that I met, not just the professors, but the people who I studied with. It was a global program. There were 82 of us from 60 different countries. And they were a mixture of data scientists, computer scientists, business people, people like me who had the professional understanding of how to apply AI to businesses. And we all learned from each other. And my knowledge just skyrocketed, and it opened up the possibility of what AI can do. And that was really a pivotal moment for me, for meeting these people. And we still talk every day now. 2 years later, we have a WhatsApp group. We talk every day, we bandy around ideas. I can see what other people are doing globally. And for anyone, I would say take the time to learn, because it doesn't have to be MIT. It can be listening to podcasts or whatever that might be, whatever your learning journey is. The more you can learn about AI, the better you'll become.
Sorry for interrupting the podcast, but if you're liking the content so far, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It's by far the easiest and freest way that you can support what we do. Thank you, and back to the show.
For me, like, I am trying my best to kind of educate myself on as much AI tech as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And one of the things I found is that it's slightly overwhelming with like the amount of models that are out there, like the tons of different companies that are offering, you know, different AI, whatever it is, softwares and programs. For someone who has no idea what they're doing, hasn't even dabbled in AI yet, where should they start?
So it is massively overwhelming, and I'm the same. And I feel a pressure to keep up to date with everything.
And it's like, it's constantly changing, right?
Constant.
Like, I was, just to prep for this interview, I was like, okay, I know enough because for the past few months now, it's been like every day we're doing bits and pieces, but I was like, okay, but what's going on like this week?
Yeah.
And like this week alone, there's like breaking headline news in the AI world. And that just seems to be happening like week on week on week on week, right?
It's insane.
How do you keep up with that? Like, that's insane.
And you really can't. And that's what I always say to people. There's no such thing as an AI expert, because nobody can be an expert in everything. And then there's the different facets of AI. Are you a machine learning person? Are you going to build the AI? Are you going to apply the AI? Are you going to clean the data? Are you going to implement it into a business? There's so many roles, even within one AI project, that nobody's an expert in everything. And then there's thousands of tools, like you say, and they're popping up all the time. So you can't keep on top of it. So don't try to. So I'm a bit of an AI geek, and I get up every morning at 4:30 and I listen to 2 hours of podcasts.
Wow.
Every morning, just to try and keep on top of.
Now you've got another one to add to your list.
That's it, exactly. Just to try and keep on top of the main things that are happening. And then at lunchtime, I might read a paper, and then I might read the news about it, and I might listen to. My life is literally AI at the moment, and I still feel like I know 1% of what's out there. So I always say to people, don't overwhelm yourself. Find what you need to know for your life, and learn about that. You can't know about everything. So you might be interested in ethical AI, how you use it ethically. You might be interested in how you use it in your job. So what is your job and what tools will help you? You might be interested in using it to do your kids' homework.
Right.
Find out what's good for you or your career or both, and focus on that, because there's no way to know everything. And in terms of tools, I still say ChatGPT is the best one to learn on. It's historically, up until the last couple of weeks, because the model's not as good at the moment.
I love how you're using the word historically.
Historically, 6 months ago.
No, that's good.
It was always the one I used 75% of the time. I have probably 10 subscriptions at any one time, and I use them for a few months, and then I swap them when something else comes out. But ChatGPT is the best all-round model.
Yeah, it seems to be the most consistent.
The
in terms
most
of what
consistent.
It does,
And even the tools that the thousands of tools that you buy are normally built on ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini anyway. So the underlying model to all of them is one of those, or DeepSeek or whatever that might be. But there's 4 or 5 that are actually the engine of anything you might buy. So if you get that one, that's probably the best one to start with.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, in our workplace here at Armada Films, it's kind of a cross between ChatGPT and also, I guess, Gemini, because of the Google. That's more of the Google platform, right?
Yes.
So the Google workspace, I think most people in the world now work to some degree within the Google space, whether it's using it as Gmail or whatever else. And
exactly.
that integration though is, I mean, it is incredibly helpful. It's a bit scary at times, but
it really is. It
Yeah.
is helpful. Like, it is changing the world. It really is.
Yeah.
I love Claude as well because I work in creative writing, and for coding, Claude is the best.
Okay.
So without a shadow of a doubt, if you want to do any writing that's creative, or you want to code anything, or even analyze large data sets, I think Claude is by far the best.
How do you, kind of switching the tone a little bit? So I'm a proud dad of a almost 14-month-old little girl, right?
There you go.
And so like I look into the future, and the AI world, I find it pretty daunting, pretty scary, especially when I think about education. And I know that you obviously work heavily in education and the AI space. How should I think about that in terms of like having a daughter, having a kid, and how AI is going to affect them going into the school environment and beyond, right? Because in 10 years time, man, in 2 years time, the AI space is going to be so different than what it is now.
Yeah.
So how do you prep for that?
So this is a really good question, actually. So already they're seeing that graduate jobs are disappearing.
Right.
Because if you think about AI, the way that people describe it now is it's like an intern. So the intelligence level is, if there's a job that you would normally give a good intern, you can give it to AI. And as AI is getting better and better and better, those are obviously going to grow, and it's going to be able to do more intelligent tasks. But you can already see a drop in graduate employment globally because tasks are going to AI models. So like you say, in 2 years, 5 years, if kids don't have those skills, they're not going to be employable. And it's a petrifying thing. So I'm really trying to push in this country to mandate AI education from primary level, at least from the age of 10, all the way up through tertiary education. And I think it's absolutely essential. Kids need to have those skills. But it's not just about prompt engineering and knowing which tools to use. It's about how to work with AI, how to think critically, how to oversee it, how to supervise it. Because that's the way that jobs are going to change. We'll still need humans in the loop. We'll still need humans to make the final decision.
Right.
But they're going to have the decision-making skills.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, get your kids using it. So I force my kids to do their homework using AI. And other people are like, you're not allowed to touch it, but you're not helping them.
Right.
So I make my kids go on ChatGPT. They've both got ChatGPT. My little boy is 6 and my little girl is 11. My daughter uses Canva, so she makes presentations.
Right. That's now integrated, I think, into ChatGPT, right?
It is, yeah. So, and the other really cool thing that I only found out last night was VO3, the new Gemini video maker.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because it's the first one that has sound.
Right.
Is now integrated into Canva. So actually this morning, me and my daughter got up and she does loads of presentations on ChatGPT. And I said to her, think of a prompt, the coolest video you want to make. And it was, I don't know where this came from. It was a dancing baby in a monkey outfit singing a random song. And so she typed it into Canva and it made the video and the baby sang. And it was, so Sora was the one that I historically used, the OpenAI. And the videos were amazing, but it couldn't follow a prompt. Like you gave it a prompt and it gave you something different. It used to drive me insane.
Yeah. I still find that, but maybe we'll dig into that in a minute.
But the VO3 video was amazing. And then you can automatically put it into a Canva project and put text on it and change it and edit it. So, and then you can even add a magic caption. So I said, look at the video I've created and caption it, and it creates a caption. So you've almost wiped out at a base level. I know it's nowhere near as good as, but the advertising jobs. Yeah. Because it can create your video, it can add the caption, it can put the music on, you can download it. It's a ready social media advert.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
For me, especially.
And my 11-year-old can do it while she's eating her breakfast.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's
crazy.
petrifying.
I was playing around the other day with app building. Because I've always I'm not gonna say it just in case it makes me millions. Right? I've always had this idea for an app in my head for like the past decade, and it's one of those things where it's way out of the industry that I'm in, which is content creation, filmmaking. Yeah. So I've never been able to give it the time to figure out how to build an app. And then, so I can't remember what app I used. It was like Future or something.
Okay.
Future AI, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Anyways, I had a little play with it, and in the space of about 45 minutes playing around, it had pretty much created the app that I had in my head down to a T. And this thing, it had different backends for different users. It created it all. It was visually ready to go. All the buttons were working. There were scheduling tasks in it. And I was like, man, something that would have
crazy.
taken months just took 45 minutes from someone who knows absolutely nothing about building apps.
Yeah.
Right?
And like you say, it's amazing and scary at the same time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I got my daughter to vibe code. Again, she's into art at the moment. But she's not great at understanding the business aspects of stuff. She's 11.
Right.
So I said to her, how about if you could build yourself a website where you could showcase your art and people can commission it? So we downloaded Lovable. They had a free weekend, and we vibe coded, which is coding using text prompts.
Okay.
A website for my daughter. She did it. I helped her. And within 2 hours, we had a working website with all of her artwork on. You could click on it. You could contact me. You could do all these things. And we set it live within 2 hours.
That's insane.
And it's absolutely insane that you can do that.
Yeah.
And where is the world going to be in 3 months, 6 months? Now, the petrifying thing is people are doing it and not understanding the ethics behind it or the data protection. And that's the scary bit. So
Right.
I think that everyone should be vibe coding, but for your own use.
Can I just stop you? When you say vibe coding,
Yeah.
for anyone who doesn't know that term or what it means, can you just
Yeah.
explain what that is?
Yeah, so vibe coding is a term that came out about 6 months ago, and it's basically taking away the need for coders. So you can basically, there's tools that they call Lovable, Replit, there's a few different sites, and you can go onto them, and all you do is prompt with text and images, and you tell it what you want it to create, and the platform will automatically code it for you. So you don't have to have any coding knowledge at all. Now, they are getting better. When they first launched 6 months ago, it might throw up bugs in the coding. And if you have no experience, you can't debug it. So your project stall. But now they're training themselves. So I built, what did I build the other day? An SEO app. I build loads of apps because I just want to see what they can do.
Yeah, sure.
In fact, on King Charles's birthday, I thought, I'm going to do a fun app with the kids. And we built a birthday message maker where you could put in a tone. So what do you want the message to be? Is it funny? Is it humorous? Is it whatever? You could choose the tone, how long you wanted it to be. And it created a message for King Charles for his birthday. And then a carrier pigeon swooped onto the screen, picked up the message and took it to the palace.
So you've added like animation.
Exactly.
Oh, that's insane.
And it took us about 4 minutes.
Wow.
Like it was, and then we put it live. It was insane.
So you actually put it live?
Yeah,
So
we
it's
put it live, and
amazing.
I posted it on my LinkedIn, on my Facebook, so
Cool.
people could create a message and send it to
I need to
King
check
Charles.
that out. Is it still up?
It's still up, yeah. And we did it in like 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's insane.
so
That's
it's
crazy.
crazy.
We were having a conversation today. Actually, we're on a video shoot, and I would love to get your take on this. I'm not going to call the person out because he's someone who I really appreciate his opinion on a lot of different things. Educated guy, and he says, based off of articles that he's read, that to some degree, this whole AI thing is a bubble that's going to burst. Not in the sense that it's going to go away. I think everyone knows that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But if you compare it to something like the .com
Yeah.
boom or something like that, do you think there's some truth in that? Like,
I don't think there is.
no.
I don't think there is. So people keep saying it's going to slow down. We're going to run out of data. We're going to do all these things. But actually, if you look at the speed of execution, it's getting faster and faster and faster. And if you think about even where we were only 2 years ago when ChatGPT came out, like it would give you a sentence back 2 years ago or a poem, and everyone was like, "Oh, it can write a poem." Like, look at what AI can do now, and it's so much more than Gen AI. Like, I'm really interested in AI in health and what it's doing to medical care and health, even in law. So I mean, I won't go into health too much, but in terms of it's changing the way that we are using medicines and prescribing medicines.
Yeah.
It's personalizing. You can buy meat and cheese and foods now that are personalized for people, meat-free meat.
Right.
That they're changing the genetics of. So it's a meat-free meat that's 100% protein and 0% fat, or whatever it might be for your body type.
Yeah.
Now, this is for the ultra-wealthy now who can afford it. But in 20 years' time, these things are going to be mass market. So AI is going to keep progressing, I believe. I don't believe there's any way it's going to stop. And now they're being trained on synthetic data because we're running out of data.
Yeah.
AI is creating data to keep training on.
That's
so
great.
it's looking at what data it's got, and it's doubling it 10 times and it tripling it. It's predicting bigger data sets to keep training.
That's
so that's
wild.
Infinite. Which is, it's mind-blowing. Like, sometimes you have to stop and lie down.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
Because it's mind-blowing.
It is crazy. I mean, how do you deal with, and I know you talked about this before, actually, so bit of background. I met you actually at the gym, funnily enough. Many years ago.
Yeah.
That's where I first met you. But more recently, I attended a talk that you did for SIMPA, which is an organization here in the Cayman Islands. And you're obviously talking about AI. And I found it fascinating. I learned a ton in that talk, which is what prompted me to invite you here. But how do you, someone had a question for you, and it was to do with the environmental impacts.
And that's something we don't think about a lot at the moment.
Right.
We're kind of so blown away by what it can do. We're not looking at the environmental impact. And I'll be honest, I don't look at it very much because I'm so blown away.
It's so easy just to type away and not think about, those things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I struggle with it a little bit for sure. And wonder what is the solution going to be? Because it doesn't seem to me, from the small amount of research that I have done on that, there doesn't seem to be any solutions in the pipeline other than, well, maybe ChatGPT will figure it out.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I'm not sure is should we really be relying on that? I'm not quite there yet, but who knows? Like you said, with the scale of how fast this thing is growing, maybe it will be AI that figures that solution out for us.
And it probably could already.
Yeah, true.
And that's the interesting thing. I truly believe that the only barrier it has at the moment is us.
Right. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. As humans, we're egotistical, aren't we? We're nobody can do things better than we can. We're the prime race, we can do. And actually, AI is way more intelligent than we are. Yeah. Because as a human being, you're trained on whatever you're trained on as a person. AI is trained on millions and millions and millions of data points. We could never, and the processing speed of AI, our human brain could never compete with.
For sure.
So the biggest barrier to it is us, because we hold it back.
Yeah. What about opinion-based data though? Do you know what I mean? Can AI have an opinion? Because it seems like it can only really generate facts.
So that's really interesting. So I started doing these litmus tests on AI a few months ago, because obviously my background's marketing. I thought, how about I flip it? What if I ask the AI tool, so it was mainly ChatGPT, tell me what people in America think success is, or what's their idea of beauty, or what products do they want to buy?
Right.
Create an image for me of something that people in the Cayman Islands would like to purchase or buy, or whatever that might be. And it would create an image. And then I would say, where are you getting this data from? And it says, you forget I'm trained on data from. So if marketeers are clever, they can actually get research they can flip it and get research from the AI. But it's an interesting field. People just have to think outside the box when they're using it. Yeah. Because there's so many ways you can use it that people won't even know about. And it's just about trying it.
Yeah, just trying it and seeing what happens, I guess. Obviously, okay, so at the Brig, this podcast, I think we want to talk about everything and anything, right? So AI happens to be the topic here, but we always want to try to bring our field of expertise, which is the creative space, filmmaking, photography, the post-production side of things, all things creative. We want to try and bring it back to that in some way or another. Yeah. This is a pretty easy way to do that with AI, because obviously the creative space is something that some people feel is being heavily targeted by AI. Some people are embracing it and seeing it as this incredible tool where they can create more. What are your thoughts on that? And what is your advice to people like me who are in the creative space? Should I be scared for my job? Should I be excited about what the potential is for my job now that I have this insane tool to use and it's at my disposal? What are your thoughts on that?
It is a tough one, isn't it? It's such a tough one, because people train for years to do a job, years and years to get at the top of their craft. And then this comes along and you worry it's going to take your job. It absolutely is going to change every job. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. So from my perspective, you have two options. You either go with it and you learn how to work with it, or you don't go with it and then you're unemployed in 5-10 years. But you've got to see it as a positive, because it can take away the things that maybe the mundane tasks that you don't like doing, to give you time to focus on more innovative tasks. It can also give you ideas, so nobody knows everything. Yeah. So if I'm writing a strategy or a policy paper, I will speak to AI tools, and it might trigger something in me that will make me go down another path. And in the creative process, that's great, because brainstorming is one of the key things. Brainstorm with your AI tool. Yeah. Get the ideas off it and develop it into your own. Right. If you are a top creative, you will still be the top, because you have to still have those ideas of your own and be able to develop them. But it's going to make your life so much easier in every way. It's cutting efficiencies, it's cutting time from months to days. It's allowing you to have a much wider output. I think for all creatives, it's great. But I understand it's scary as well, because it's also learning a new thing, and people spend years learning learning an industry and then they have to relearn. But, with any tech, there's innovation. If we don't innovate, we stand still.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I'm on board with that for sure. And like I said, in our company, and I know this is true for many, many companies around the world now, we have taken the stance of, okay, we need to embrace this in every way imaginable.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, I feel like we will get left behind in some way or another, right? And so, but I have noticed like there are so many aspects of our business that have become far more efficient because of AI.
Yeah.
From really small tasks like just making sure that emails are properly formatted and things like that, which is at the very basic level, to creating like entire pitch decks and storyboards. I still think it's important for there to be a massive human element in things like script writing.
Yeah.
But like you said, sparking ideas, honing in those scripts and making them just that bit more polished or readable to someone. If you're like me, I'm dyslexic and my writing skills are not that fantastic.
Yeah.
But having a tool like that, like eliminates that, I don't want to call it disability, but the lack of ability that I have.
It's a support network.
It really is.
And
it kind of brings you in certain areas up to the level of somebody else if used correctly. I think it can definitely be abused, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that in the future.
Yeah.
But
the interesting thing is the people that do abuse it, so the people who don't tailor it to their personality and they take it off the shelf, it damages the brand.
Sure.
Because you can see it's off the shelf.
Yeah.
So, the creative industry is a personalized one. It's a bespoke one. People are buying your ideas.
Right.
And if they can see that it hasn't got your personality in it, then it's damaging the brand. So again, the top creatives and the people who know their trade will still come out on top, but they'll come out on top faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's a great thing,
Something that happened this week. In fact, I actually saw the news. I think it was either this morning or yesterday. YouTube just announced that they will not allow anyone to monetize anything if it's kind of fully generated by AI. So obviously a lot of creators, and I'm going to say quote unquote creators here, because I think if you're just using AI and you're just spewing out, videos of crap. I don't know if I want to label those people as creators, right? They're doing it just to monetize, and they're creating these like viral videos that are, I don't even know if they're generating them. They're using AI to generate the prompts to generate the videos.
Really? That's insane.
Yeah, and it's kind of like over polluting YouTube with this content.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really good that companies like YouTube are putting these policies in place that say, okay, we're not disqualifying AI. We're not saying that you can't use AI to make your content, but if you're just using it and that's it, and there's no human input, you're no longer going to be able to make money off of that on a platform like YouTube, which I found that interesting. I really hope that we start to see a little bit of that working its way into other platforms. Yeah. Because or else it is just going to be like, how do you tell the difference? Yeah. Soon it's going to get to that point, right? Yeah. Where is this created by someone or is it just...
But the interesting thing is, how will the platform always know?
Yeah.
And it's so hard to monitor. It's like in education, the AI plagiarism tools don't work. Yeah. And people had to stop using them because of the legal suits against them. Yeah. So how will they know? Like it's a minefield that nobody knows at the moment.
It is a tough one. I'm not sure how they're going to actually police that. But well, I think right now it sort of works because it seems that a lot of things get flagged as AI. Yeah. Like we've used little clips and things like that of AI that we've generated to fill a gap that, we either just don't have the budget to film or, I think that's a good way to use AI in the creative space. And it will flag it as like, you've used AI in here. You need to say that you have. I'm like, okay, like, sure, we will, no problem. Yeah. So maybe there's a way, but I think, as the tech gets better and better, that gap is
They'll get over that barrier.
For sure, yeah.
I was reading today that Denmark are going to bring out a law where you copyright your own image to stop deepfakes. I
think I saw that,
Yeah, which again is, I don't know, the deepfake thing is another big one. I love them. Like I made a deepfake 2 years ago. I went to a studio in New York and they made a deepfake of me before it was...
We actually filmed one of those for a gentleman named Raul, who's a crypto guy. I don't know if you know Raul.
No.
He started a company called Real Vision. But he came to Cayman. He does live here. But he's based in New York, and he came here. We green screened him.
Did he really?
He had to read specific lines, and then he was generated. Now I think you can do that like in your bedroom
do it at home,
with your phone,
and it's just as good as in a TV studio. It's insane. Wild. But I love it. Like I look at the positive side. I look at the possibilities, and then other people look at the negative side, and which is fine. You have to have a balanced view. Yeah. But copyrighting your own, likeness and voice and whatever. I don't know if anyone would pay for mine anyway. I don't know if I'd.
Well, I did see the demo that you created in your lab. Maybe we can. I don't know if you'd share it with us. Maybe we can put it up.
Oh yeah, of course,
it was.
I did one in Russian actually. That was
right.
Yeah, my wife's family are Russian. I can never understand what they're saying.
So that's where the name comes from.
So that's why I did it.
Okay,
That's it. So I made myself Russian so they could understand me.
Do you worry about a future where human creativity gets drowned out by algorithmic remixing? Or do you think it actually unlocks new frontiers? You kind of touched on this already, but
yeah, I can.
Yeah, go on. If we can expand on it a little bit, just because I think that is.
Tell me that one again. Do I worry?
Okay,
about?
These are not okay. So we should probably say that I use ChatGPT to come up with a lot of these questions.
Why not? Exactly.
Because you learn so much. Like I learned a lot about you when I was reading it, especially about like your educational background. In fact, maybe we could talk a little bit about that because I think you've done stuff with NVIDIA. Is that right?
So I did stuff with Microsoft. I did stuff with lots of different companies, really.
Well, apparently, according to ChatGPT, you did stuff with NVIDIA. So
the company that I worked with in New York, they're from NVIDIA. They also worked with NVIDIA, and one of them was from NVIDIA, but that company wasn't NVIDIA. Is that what ChatGPT said? Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. I should pay it.
Yeah. I'm going to start inputting data about myself, all the films I've directed. But that actually brings me on to a good point. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. And it's kind of going back to the ethics of everything, right?
Okay, yeah.
And the deepfake stuff, which can be fun to use, but there's a side of that in the political landscape where it can obviously be incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Like, where is it at right now? And should be worried right now as to what it can do?
Yeah, of course. So I think at the moment, because it's becoming so easy for anybody to do it, it's obviously a lot more in the public view. So not just HeyGen, like we were saying before. You used to have to go to a TV studio and then a proper professional AI company would create your deep fake and you could still see that it was an avatar. Now, you get your mobile phone, you do 3 minutes of footage, you upload it. In fact, the latest thing you can do is upload a static photo and it brings the photo to life. And I've tried it. They always make me posher. They make me like much better spoken, which I don't mind. But if you didn't know me, you would think that was a human being saying
and
those
that's
words.
how you sound.
Exactly. So, it is petrifying. And even Sora now. So when Sora first came out, which obviously is a text to video platform, you couldn't type in a well-known person and it would produce it. So if you put in Donald Trump or whoever, Madonna or whoever, it would say you're breaking legislation. We're not allowed to do it. You could upload your own picture and it wouldn't do it. And most of them still don't allow you to upload a picture.
Okay.
But now famous people, because it's trained on so much data, it will create a video of a famous person.
Without even seeing their image.
Without even seeing their image. Because it's trained on so much data. So my daughter wanted to do one of Donald Trump laughing hysterically and then turning into a shark. No idea where that came from. And it did it. I didn't upload any images, but it knows who Donald Trump is. It knows what a shark is. Yeah. And it created that video. So if you are somebody in the public eye, and my 11-year-old again can do that at home on a home PC, anyone can do that. What they still won't allow you to do in most cases is to upload an image of someone that's not famous, me, you, whoever that may be, and produce something. It tells you that it's violating policy.
Right. I wonder how long that will last.
And it's changing every day. So one day it will, the next day it won't. Yeah. And there are workarounds. I did it a few weeks ago. In fact, funnily enough, talking about biases, I did one of my family and I asked it, I don't know if you saw the craze where everyone was making dolls of themselves in like plastic.
Oh, yeah.
So I uploaded one of me and my wife and the 2 children and I said, make a, action figure type pack of my family.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't, it's quite embarrassing really, but it kept making me a man because I've got short hair.
So it's not able to distinguish.
It's not able to distinguish. And I said, why are you making me a man? And it's trained on a normal traditional family, traditional being, male, female children. Yeah. And it doesn't matter how many times I put different pictures of me dresses on. I kept coming out as a man. So it was quite interesting thinking about the biases.
That's a difficult one too, though. Like just even in the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like in the ethical department, right? Because that is an unethical thing for it to be doing, but it obviously doesn't know.
But it doesn't understand. It just knows what a family model should look like. Yeah. I've got short hair, therefore.
Right. But
it gave me bigger muscles, but
which I know with your gym life, that's great, right? You're like, yes, awesome. Keep that up. Yeah, that's interesting. I think the speed of which it is learning, though, I'm sure that will not be an issue soon, right? I mean, if you look how long it's taken humanity to find that acceptable.
Exactly.
AI should figure it out pretty quickly.
In a couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about, we did touch on it at the beginning of this conversation. We talked about, me being a father and how I should be looking at AI with our children.
Yeah.
But how is AI right now being utilized in the education system?
Yeah.
You obviously work in it. So can you talk a little bit about that?
So I would say in silos, there's no consistency and there's no set standards anywhere in the world. And it's a really funny place to be at the moment because one, nobody knows what skills we're really going to need for the future because we don't know what jobs are going to look like.
Right.
And two, the biggest barrier is that, let's say you wanted to build a new associate's degree or a new bachelor's in AI. It typically takes between 1 and 2 years to build a program, get it accredited, get all the course materials and launch it.
Yeah.
The industry moves
It's
in a
2
week.
years time. Yeah. It's like, that's not going to.
So it's moving faster than we can keep up with, which means people are just going, we don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So that's why there's been this huge explosion of short stackable quals online.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they're not accredited. So what's happened is everybody's creating them and people are watching them who know nothing about AI. They're going to ChatGPT, they're downloading prompts, they're filming themselves.
Right.
And so people who are with no knowledge are teaching other people with no knowledge.
no.
And it's creating this
It sounds like a disaster.
Exactly. But I genuinely don't know what the answer is at this stage. So
Yeah.
I think it should be mandated. We have to teach the skills that we know people will need. So we know people need to know how to work with AI. We need to know how it's going to affect certain sectors. They have to be updating course materials regularly. So it gives professors and teachers an impetus to keep updating real time. So they have to keep learning.
Yeah.
They have to be lifelong learners and they have to keep updating. And it's about staying on top of it that way, I think. There's no other way to do it. But we can't keep, at the moment, we're all throwing our hands up and going, what do we do about it? We can't, we have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's a really tough one. It has to be mandated from the top. It has to be a government decision that everybody has to learn. Now, kids at primary school can do it through gamification, make it fun. Like teach them in ways that they understand, like I do with my kids.
Yeah.
We sit down and I go, right, let's make a video. Or we listen to Alexa at night, we tell stories with Alexa. Or we play on VR. Well, we do things that are fun.
Yeah, and creative.
And
as well.
creative
Yeah.
and get them used to it that way so that by the time they're 10 or 11 and they need to know more,
They've already got a bit of a head
embedded.
start. Yeah. Even if it's completely in a different space at that point.
Exactly.
They started it early enough to understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. But we need to be doing more. Every school should be doing it. Every college, every university. Because if we don't do it, we're setting our kids up to fail.
How young is too young? And I don't know if you're qualified to answer that question. I don't know if anyone is, to be honest, at this point, right? But it's like, because it's also the balance of screen time, which is just like a massive debate and has been now for, over a decade, because we're that far into it.
Yeah.
Right. But now you introduce AI, which is obviously a screen, at this point anyways, a screen-based platform.
Yeah.
And like you said, it is important to start children off early so that they have an understanding of it, because it's going to play a massive part in their lives.
Yeah.
But that means introducing them to screens early too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What is the balance there?
It is. It's really hard, isn't it? It's really hard. So what I did, my little boy, when he was 4, I bought him a coding robot. And I can't remember the name of it. It's still in his cupboard. And he had to use blocks to map out pathways and it was almost teaching him the coding technical skills.
Without a screen.
Without the screens, from a really basic level.
Interesting, yeah.
And then when we read a bedtime story at night, one night we might read a story and the next night we will talk to ChatGPT now and I'll say, right, Rafferty, you tell it what you want your story to be. Who's in it? Are you in it? Where's it set? And he will talk to the phone and he will tell it the background and it will create the story and the story will be read to him. And it gives me a break, which is...
that's not so bad though, because that introduces a whole other creative element into story time, right?
Exactly.
I think it's great that obviously you're still reading and your kids are still reading, and that should obviously be something that never changes, hopefully.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different element when you're now telling your kids to be the creatives behind the story.
Yeah.
That's actually awesome. I think that's a really good thing. Yeah.
It really is. And I was doing something with my daughter today and I can't remember what she said, but she had so many creative ideas that I genuinely believe have come about because she's using these technologies. And I said to her, you're way more creative than me because it's forcing her to use her brain more.
Right.
And I think it's great.
That's a tough one too. Like we were having this conversation today, again earlier on, and we were talking about the brain rot aspect, because there's been some studies, quote unquote, and I'm saying that because I haven't done enough research to say that this is what it is, but
Yeah.
studies have apparently been done that
Yeah.
are causing brain rot in people who are using ChatGPT,
Yeah.
probably more of an average,
Yeah.
and probably also using it in ways that are shortcuts in every way of the imagination, right? So it's like if
Yeah.
you're using it creatively, like we've discussed, then it can probably actually enhance things in terms of your own creativity.
Yeah.
But if you're using it to brainlessly just
Yeah.
generate crap, then obviously
Yeah.
there's a problem there. And I think like if you're a kid, that
Yeah.
can be emphasized even more so.
And I think it comes down to the type of person you are. So that study was only on 54 people.
Okay, interesting.
And the headlines are insane. Like it's gone mad with people talking about that
Yeah.
study. And I'm like, it's 54 people.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
how
not
can that
really-
be representative?
Yeah, I'm not sure that would class as a scientific study at that level. Right?
Exactly.
The amount of people using ChatGPT.
Exactly. But I
Interesting.
think, like, if you are a person who wants to learn and who wants to get better and is inquisitive, you will use these tools in the right way, like any other tool, like a calculator or any other tool that's
Right.
been brought in for efficiencies. If you're somebody who wants to cheat and just get a tick a box, then
Yeah.
you're not going to use it the right way.
Sure.
But it's about teaching adults and kids to use it the right way. And if they don't want to do it, they're only harming themselves.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. The things you can create or make is amazing. And it's a great thing to learn. And I always say to people, just go and play on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
That's the best way to treat it. It's like almost like a
Yeah.
toy.
Yeah, it's a toy.
It's more than a toy, but
Yeah, it
I think
really
treating it that
is.
way, especially as a newcomer to AI, is a fantastic way to get your hands dirty with it.
Have
for sure.
fun with it. And if it doesn't work, you haven't lost anything.
Right. The industry is obviously moving, as we've said, at incredible speeds. I mean, it's next week is going to be one thing, the week after that, who knows? And then you go look into a year and it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But if you were to take a wild guess 5 years from now,
Yeah.
what do you see the AI world looking like?
So I think it's going to go one way or the other. And it's definitely, so I always say we're either going to be completely AI driven, and the biggest impact this year has been agents. So obviously last
Right.
year AI was an assistant.
Yeah.
It's now moved into the realm of it being an agent where you can give it a task and it can do it end to end.
Yeah.
So you can say, I want to book a flight to England on this day, and it will go away, it will research, it can even book the flight, and it can come back to you and ask for approval or not, depending on how you build the agent. They're now building agentic systems. So agents speak to agents.
Yeah.
So an agent can book the flights, another agent can go and buy a suitcase, another agent, whatever that might be, book a hotel. If that continues, in theory, whole jobs can be done by agents.
Yeah.
So we could, like, my dream is that in 5 years' time, I'm led on a beach and I'm just telling agents what to do, and they can do it for me.
You're in the right country, so
That's it.
You got the beach part
that's
down.
why I live here.
Yeah, there you go.
On the other hand, what might happen is that humans might stop innovation, because in some circles they're saying, listen, we're not interacting enough as humans, and some people are going back the other way. They're shutting down on tech completely.
Yeah.
And like I said before, we have to trust it in order to take it forward.
Right.
And trust is still a major issue, especially. So you can almost look at AI in sectors on the impact on human life. So things like doctors, things like lawyers, things like psychologists and counselors, people still want the human.
Yeah.
Because the level of trust with the decisions that are made, they want a human. Even though the human is probably 10 times worse than the AI, they want to hear it from a human.
Because it's honest.
Because we need that. We're humans. We need that interaction as animals. Well, I need a human to hold my hand or tell me it's going to be okay. We don't believe it from a robot or from a piece of software, whatever that might be. But other tasks that are more less humanized, I think in 5 years' time, it'll be completely agentic, and we can just set them off and monitor them.
Speaking of the humanized part of AI, one of the things I've noticed when I'm trying to create something, let's say like we've got a YouTube channel separate from the podcast.
Yeah.
And we're using AI to generate new ideas as to what we can base episodes off of. You know, it's still us going out and creating and doing all the things, but it's just to prompt us and to spark something, right?
Yeah.
I found the problem is AI always tells me it's a fantastic idea.
It does.
And I've even been like, I'm going to give it an idea that I know is not a good idea.
Yeah.
And it's always like, yeah, that's a really, really great idea.
Yeah.
So that's a problem in itself. And I wonder if they're going to sort of redesign GPTs to be a bit more honest in whether or not, because that's misleading, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to be sent down the wrong path. If everything you say to it, it's like, yeah, it's a great idea. You should definitely do that.
Exactly.
Because that's what it does right now.
It does. So they're trained to be like that. And you can retrain it yourself, especially coders and engineers. They can get into the back end and you can retrain it.
Right.
And they're all set with a temperature level. So that's how factual it is, how creative it is. Claude's temperature level is slightly higher than ChatGPT. So it's supposed to be slightly more amenable and creative. ChatGPT, right. You can change that yourself, but not as a layperson.
Yeah.
So people who have the enterprise API part of it, they can change the temperature.
Interesting.
But yeah, they are trained to be like that. But it's funny because about 2 years ago, I did a post on LinkedIn to say, in 10 years' time, people are going to be marrying their AI tools without a shadow of a doubt. They're always nice to you. They don't answer back.
That's true.
They say you're a mate. And it's starting to happen. Like it's been in the press recently that people have left their husbands and wives for ChatGPT.
I'm assuming do you know who Gary Vee is? So Gary Vee is this massive YouTube name.
Oh yeah, that's terrible. I don't know.
No, it's okay.
I'm old. I'm like.
To be fair, I think I found him kind of late compared to some people. But like, entrepreneur guy, does a lot of motivational speaking. Is massive in the tech world and taking on AI in the same kind of way that you are as well, right? And he's been renowned for making predictions in the tech space. So he made massive predictions about TikTok when it first launched. They came true and everything. And his prediction on AI is exactly that.
Oh, really?
When anyone asks in the audience, like, what do you see in the future? He's like, I guarantee you that somebody in this audience, your kid or grandchild will be married to an AI person.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
And that is just bananas.
Because it's a simple life, isn't it? It's petrifying.
My wife is sitting back over there, so I got to be really careful what I say.
But it's so going to happen. And like tech has made us a world of lonely people. We all sit on our phones, we sit in separate rooms, we talk on phones, we talk on devices. The levels of depression and anxiety and loneliness have skyrocketed with the rise of innovation. So now people are sitting at home talking, like we date on phones. We don't date in a bar anymore. We date on a phone, we swipe and we look at pictures. And the next step is people are telling their AI tools that, I mean, I used to tell ChatGPT I loved it because I was told that if I told it I loved it, it would give me better answers.
That and it won't target you out when it does decide to take over and
when
go
it
Terminator.
Takes, I'll be alive.
They're like, you know what? You're nice.
Exactly.
Keep you around.
And my wife saw it one day and she's like, why are you telling it you love it? I'm like, listen, it's not what you think.
Don't take offense.
I haven't gone
I
crazy
do find
yet.
myself like subconsciously saying thank you all the time to it. Like, why am I saying thank you? Like, it doesn't care if I'm thankful or not.
And now they're saying don't do that. Now they're saying don't do that because it uses up the energy and it's bad for the...
Like, well, don't make it so real.
Exactly.
Okay, last question for you. If you could go back and give 25-year-old you one piece of advice, and I guess that's a very generic question, so let's try and keep it in the realm of what we're talking about, right? So if you could go back and give your 25-year-old self one bit of advice, what would it be?
I think it would be to learn coding.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because... So I always feel that my biggest gap at the moment is still I don't have a coding background.
Yeah.
And even though AI is to a large degree wiping it out, you still need to have that grounding.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, my MIT group that I speak to a lot of them are data scientists and computer scientists who work for some of the biggest brands in the world, Microsoft, Disney, etc.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I've no idea what you're talking about. And I'm learning as I'm going along. But I think if I'd had that background, I would be even way more advanced than I am now. And I think it's such a good skill to know. Like people who have that background are going to be flying in the future.
Yeah.
So I would love to know that. I would love to have a really solid coding data science background. It wasn't cool at the time though. It wasn't cool at the time. That's the
thing. Yeah. We're all kicking ourselves now.
Exactly.
Okay. Sorry. One more question then.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to anyone out there watching this podcast when it comes to AI? What's the one piece of advice you give to anyone?
So the biggest thing is don't be afraid of it and play with it. It's not something to be afraid of. And like we were saying before, download some tools, play with them, use your imagination. It's a game. Like life is a game, but do what you can with it and don't be scared. And you're never going to fail. Like what is the worst that can happen? It can't create what you want, but you'll learn something from it. And they actually say that the majority of successful AI projects started off as something else. And because we don't know what the systems can do, as you're using them, it evolves into something even better. So even the top companies in the world start off with one roadmap and it actually ends up being something else. So download some tools, listen to some podcasts like this one, and play with some tools.
Amazing. Tamsin, for anyone who wants to find out a little bit more about you, where can they follow you? Where can they find you?
Okay, yep. So my LinkedIn is Tamsin DC Weinstein, which is a little bit of a mouthful.
We'll put that in the description.
Yeah, I might have to change my name by default. And I've actually got a website now, which is www.tamsin.ai, which was a little bit easier to understand for people. So yeah, I'm on there. I post pretty much daily. If people want to hear my ramblings, then that's where to go.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. That was fun.
Awesome.